Good evening. Welcome to Grey Gum Farm again. Today I'm going to talk to you about our water system here, particularly the creek water system. We're sitting down here beside our creek. The channel of the creek is just around here, not very far away. The creek is very intermittent. We have had it running for over 12 months without stopping at times, and we've had it not running at all for over 12 months at other times. When it's not running, there's some intermittent water holes that, between dry parts of the creek bed. They gradually dry out in drought times, and other than the very best of them. This is a property that was used as a dairy farm for possibly 50 years. Cattle do like drinking this water here. So the first part of the system is the well. Now that rectangular concrete lid you see there that's the top of the well, and there's this round concrete pipe of about a bit over 1 metre diameter that goes down into the ground about 6 or 7 metres. If you can see that we've got big hills around us here, and then there's relatively flat sections in between on the floor of the valley of alluvial soil, and you can see that far bank of the creek channel there shows you a bit of what the soil's like. And if you dig a hole, we've got about 20 metres of soil, alluvial soil, before we hit rock. It looks as though there's 20 metres or so about the centre of the valley floor would be about the max. Now in that alluvial soil you've got a water table. Now usually that water table is at the same level as the running water in the creek channel. When the creek stops, that tells us that the water table is going down, and the well here gets down into that water table. So the bottom of the well is lower than the floor bottom of the creek channel. We've got 2 pumps here. One of them is in the bottom of that well, but it's a submersible pump, and it's got its own little safety switch, which is a thing that floats up or goes down depending on the depth of it, if there's water around the pump.
So this is the creek bed at the moment, which is completely dry.
When the water comes up from the well, it comes through a pipe that's underground, but you can see a white pipe going up above the top of the big tank there, and a black pipe leading into the top of it. Now that black pipe is the water coming from the well. Once it gets inside the white pipe, there's a bend, and then there's a spray for the purpose of getting a bit of air getting a bit of air into the water, and it falls into down to the water level in the tank, and that pipe goes all the way to the bottom of the tank, so that the new water that's coming in. Also inside that big tank, there is a float valve pretty close, as close to the top as we could get it, attached to the electrical supply that goes down to the bottom of the well. And so if we get water right up to that float valve, that shuts down the pump down the bottom of the well here. Now, as for getting the water out, there is a pipe that comes through the bottom of the tank, the side of the wall near the bottom of the tank, and inside the tank we've got an elbow and a short, about ½ metre length of pipe going upwards, and it's got an open top on it, and so the water from inside the tank gets into that pipe, but we cannot get the water that comes through to these troughs and onwards to the gardens is not the worst water that's kept that's in the bottom of the tank, because there's always settlement happening. There's a bit of murk in it, and the longer it's sitting around, particularly if it's had some air mixed into it, and also sunshine, the water settles and it gets better and better over time. The purpose of the water is mainly for gardening, but also a shower and a bathroom that uses this sort of water, and the toilets, of course.
And the laundry. We wash all our clothes with this water too.
There's a small tank, 1,000-gallon tank, halfway up the hillside. If the water's going to be used in the house, the water travels sideways across the hillside to a set of 3 tanks, gives the tap water more time again to settle.
This is the first water trough that the water comes into after the tank, and yep.
And this is the sort of muck that settles down on the bottom of this trough.
Yep.
Now the next trough along has a lot less muck in it, and the third one less again. This one will be similar stuff, but there's a lot less of it. Yes, it's quite the same. So this trough's doing the same job as the first one.
And we've got these dividers along through the middle of the troughs to make the water, to force the water to move around them.
Yes. It's still mucky stuff, but it's not as bad as the other ones. And then I get down to the bottom of the. Yes, I'm touching the bottom here now, and there's no dirt that you can see. I'm not stirring up any muddy water at all.
So by the time we get to this side of this third
here,
trough, there isn't sediment down the bottom.
That's right.
Yeah, to stir up.
So we've achieved what we've been trying to achieve by having this little system here.
Yeah.
Here we go. So this is our other pump, which is much bigger than the one down the well, and this is the water that comes from the trough. That's the water going out of the pump up to the gardens and house and wherever. And this thing has got a time switch, a time control in that box.
In this box here.
Box there.
Yep. So we've got a timer pump.
So that starts and stops this pump here.
Yep.
So this whole system here is, you could say it's fully automated. You know, both of these pumps stop and start without us coming down here to give them individual attention to make them do either.
Yeah.
They're on the time switches and float valves.
So this is the third trough, and it's got this divider in it. The water comes in to the trough here, has to go through this bit of shade cloth, which is mounted on this and weighted, and then the intake of the water going into the pump over here, and then up to the house yard.
If you find this video helpful or our content interesting, please like and subscribe, because it really helps us out.
A couple of years ago we had the biggest flood that we've had in the time that we've owned the property, which is now nearly 50 years, getting close to 50 years, and the water nearly came up to the top of these little troughs, these low troughs. Yeah.
And it did go over the electrical point down there above the well.
Yes.
So we had to get that redone.
And there was also some erosion of the creek bank, and we were concerned that if follow-up floods could actually threaten this whole establishment here that we've got for the water system.
That latest flood, we put all this rockwork in here to stabilise this bank, because it's if we thought that if we had a subsequent flood and it eroded it further, it would put all this infrastructure here at risk. So yes, we put a lot of effort into stabilising this creek bank, and planting a lot of lamandras. Lamandras are terrific for their root system into the creek, into the ground. So we bought a lot of little baby plants, and good to see that they're getting going here in amongst the rockwork. So as you can see, by the time the water gets up here to the house and coming out the hose, we're really getting a very nice quality of water. Thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you next time.